sleep in the same bed with my cheating wife. It feels disgusting when I want to touch it. It feels frustrating not to touch anything at all. I endured these days for a whole 3 months without any breaks. My name is 𝓵𝓵𝓫𝓵𝓲𝓬, 34 years old this year. My wife's name is 𝓵𝓪𝓻𝓻𝓼, 2 years younger than me. We've been married for 7 years. He has a 5-year-old son. I've been staying at my parents' house all this time. In the eyes of my friends around me, we can be considered to be a model couple that everyone envies. The house is 120 square meters in size, although I'm still paying off the loan. But at least in this city, there's a place where I can settle down. It's not a luxury car after all. But driving a joint venture car that costs over 200,000 yuan isn't anything to be ashamed of. The combined income of the two of us is over 30,000 per month, excluding expenses. It's a comfortable life indeed. I think this is the most stable form of happiness for ordinary people. But I never could have imagined that this calm state existed 3 months ago. It was smashed in the middle of the night. That night, 𝓵𝓪𝓻 said that the store is having a promotional campaign. I'll be back later. I didn't think much of it. I just ate some of the leftover food casually, couching around and playing games. It's almost 12 o'clock now. He hasn't even entered the house yet. I made a call there. The tone is quite normal. He said it's almost done, just a little more time. You go ahead and sleep first. I hung up the phone and I wasn't able to sleep. I don't know why. On that day, there was a sense of inexplicable panic in my heart. The cigarette on the coffee table has been smoked up. I opened the drawer at the bottom of the TV cabinet to find cigarettes. No cigarettes were found, but I touched a small square box with my hand. Take it out and look at it. It's that thing. We haven't used this thing for a long time anymore. After giving birth, she said that wearing a ring makes things easier. What's even more annoying is, I don't even know what this brand is. I usually buy daily necessities at fixed times every day. This fancy and elaborate packaging, I haven't even seen them before. It's definitely not something I bought myself. The most terrifying thing is, that box has been opened before. There should be 3 in total. Now only 2 are left. In that instant, my head felt like it was going to explode. My palms were covered in sweat from scrubbing. I didn't call immediately. In the past, he questioned him in a hysterical manner. Because I know, before the scene can be inspected, any questioning will only alert them to our presence. He found some excuse. It was said that it was put there by a colleague. Gifts from friends. It can be easily pushed aside, leaving nothing behind. They even tried to claim that I don't trust him at all. Women tell lies about these things. The logic is even more rigorous than what salespeople say. I gave that box too, put it back into the drawer completely intact, and closed the drawer. Sitting on the sofa, smoking one cigarette after another. 1:10 a.m., the door lock sounded. She pushed the door open and entered. There was a persistent smell of alcohol on my body. To be honest, I'm a man after all. Normally, my nose isn't that sharp at all. But when he walked past me that day, I suddenly smelled something. Apart from the smell of alcohol, there's nothing else on him. There is also a strong, unpleasant smell of male tobacco in the air. I know her very well. She really hates the smell of cigarettes in general. I also stopped the habit of smoking indoors long ago. But on that day, the smell of tobacco on her body was so strong that it was almost overwhelming. It happens inside a closed car or a room. Being spoken at close range by a smoking man, it felt like I was holding something that had been steamed for several hours. As long as it's a man, I can smell this smell coming from my wife's room all night long. I understood everything in an instant. I sat in the shadows, just stared at him intently. The feeling of nausea that rises from within the stomach sighed I was back. Time to wash up and go to bed. He was clearly taken aback for a moment. I really didn't expect me to be able to stay so calm. That night, she lay beside me for less than 3 minutes. It emitted a slight snoring sound, and I kept staring at the ceiling with my eyes open. An entire night, watching as dawn breaks in front of our eyes. The days to come, I started acting like a complete psycho. Observe his every move in the dark. Previously, he simply threw his phone onto the sofa without thinking about it. Now, even going into the bathroom to take a shower requires bringing something along with it. In the past, his unlocking password was my birthday. It was suddenly changed now. When asked, it was said that it was done to prevent harassment calls. In the past, our store would usually close at 10 p.m. during promotional periods. Nowadays, it's common to be up until 11 or 12 o'clock. Excuses are always used to justify data analysis. Previously, he would just go out, wash his face, and then leave. It will take half an hour to apply the delicate makeup now. There's an extra pile of sexy clothes in the closet, ones I've never seen before. The question is simply about buying anything online at will. Every single thing, when considered separately, seems to be explainable. But when all of these coincidences come together, it's just 2 words: abandonment. I started following her. Please don't scold me. When a man goes to stalk someone, and my wife step like this, he isn't an abnormal person. He is really pitiful. I have logged into his mobile account, using positioning systems, like a voyeuristic person, track his movements closely after work hours. I was sitting in the cafe right across from his beauty salon, watching him through the glass window. On the 7th day, I finally waited long enough. That day, he said he needed to work extra hours again. 7:30 p.m. I watched her walk out of the beauty salon. She isn't alone. Someone in their 30s. The man wearing a dark blue suit. I parked a black luxury car by the roadside waiting for her. She smoothly got into the co-pilot seat. I started the engine, following behind from a distance. That car drove all the way there. A high-class Japanese restaurant in the south of the city. I'm sitting in the car, watching them walk in together. That man was at the door when he entered the room. I casually touched her waist, and she not only didn't hide at all, I also turned my head and gave him a sweet smile. I know that smile very well. 7 years ago, she was in a relationship with me. That's how they smiled at me. I sat in the car for a total of 30 minutes. I'm not trying to rush in and knock over the tables. Hit that guy up. But what happens after we break in? Make a big deal out of nothing. My 5-year-old son will learn about it tomorrow. His parents are going to get divorced. 30 minutes later, I silently drove the car back home. 12 o'clock at night.
He's back.
My hair is a little messy, although the lipstick has been replenished again. But there are still some traces of blurring at the corners of my mouth. I felt nauseous, as if I had eaten a fly. But he still said nothing on the surface. While he was taking a shower, I opened his handbag. There is a receipt from a Japanese restaurant inside. The 2 of them spent a total of 2,000 yuan. There is also a room key from a certain hotel belonging to room 520. I'm holding that room key card. Standing in the quiet living room, my whole body is freezing. That night, I still haven't exposed him yet. But I made an extremely cruel decision. I don't want to get divorced. It's not because I'm generous. It's not because I still love him. It's not even about giving the child a complete home. It's because of money. It's because of reality. The down payment for this house was paid by me. Mom and Dad have saved all their notes and documents throughout their lives. The decoration was funded through borrowing 150,000 yuan from online lenders. Monthly mortgage payments, car loan payments, utilities, son's tuition fees. 80% of it was achieved through sheer determination and perseverance. And his salary, according to his own words, is take it back to pay off the credit card I owe before marriage. 7 years married. She hasn't taken a single cent from this house at all. What if the divorce happens now? The house needs to be divided. The cars need to be separated. Deposits need to be separated. Even the son gets a share too. Everything I have achieved after 7 years of hard work and dedication. Why must we dedicate our hands completely? A woman who betrayed me. Why shouldn't I get a divorce? But I also have no intention of forgiving them. But how are we going to spend the days ahead? This is the real nightmare. During the day, we act like a loving couple in front of outsiders. Pick up and drop off children together. Go back to our hometown to see our parents together. Attending a friend's wedding together. She held my hand tightly. I wrapped my arms around her waist. Laughing naturally and gracefully in front of the camera. Who would have imagined that the interior of this house was already in such a terrible state? It emits a foul smell. And in the evening, when the door is closed, the bedroom becomes a real battlefield. We sleep in the same large bed, which is 1.8 meters long. In the middle, it seems as though there is a high mountain that cannot be crossed over. He slept on that side. I sleep on this side. Each occupies a separate side. The first 2 weeks of operation. I suffer every night like this. 34 years old. It's a time when physiological needs are particularly strong. In the past, we did it at least 2 or 3 times a week. Right now, there's nothing at all. It's not that I don't want to. It's my reason that is trying hard to hold back me. As long as I keep my eyes closed, that image just comes to mind in my mind. She is on the big bed in the hotel, and doing things with that man who drives a car. What they did to me before, just thinking about this. A strong sense of nausea rushed up from the stomach towards the upper part of the body. Several times, I ran to the bathroom and vomited repeatedly. Once it was after 1 a.m. The physiological instincts finally overpowered the rational part of the mind. I turned around. I tried to stretch my hand out towards it. I want to hold her in my arms. I want to deceive myself into thinking that nothing ever happened at all. But in the exact second when my hand touched her shoulder, her body suddenly became extremely stiff and rigid. That stiffness was like a bucket of ice water indeed. It seemed like water was poured from above my head down to my feet in just an instant. That stiffness was clearly visible to me. She disapproved of me, or rather, what's on her mind at this moment is another man. I silently retracted my hand. Lie down again, staring at the dark ceiling. She was breathing quickly, but soon her breathing became more regular again. Those nights, I don't know how many tears I've secretly shed over time. It's really uncomfortable to keep holding in the breath like this. I quietly sneaked into the bathroom alone. Turn on the faucet. Here comes a cup of cold water. Suddenly poured water on the face. Looking at myself in the mirror with my face covered in water. The face was pale as wax. The self with a vacant gaze. I feel like a dog. It can't even protect its own nest at all. It seems like those dogs still have to hold on somehow. It was my son who broke this dead silence. Last week, I took my son to the playground. The little kid doesn't understand anything at all. Riding on my neck, laughing uncontrollably, shouting loudly, "Dad, I want to ride the roller coaster." When I reached a corner, he suddenly lowered his head. It was spoken right next to my ear. "Dad, do you and Mom no longer like me anymore?" I stood still in place, frozen in time. "Why do you ask that?" The child lowered his head and spoke in a low voice. "Because Mom hasn't held me in a long time. You haven't seen your real father in so long. In the past, you guys used to hug each other when you were at home. They no longer touch each other anymore." That moment, my tears almost spilled out in front of the child's face. Actually, he has a 5-year-old son. I can sense everything. He just doesn't know how to express himself properly. But he could feel that this house no longer had any warmth anymore. I got home that night. I drank a lot of alcohol. When she opened the door late at night, what I see is just me alone, sitting in the dark living room. There are several empty beer cans on the coffee table. He frowned and asked me, "What's wrong with you?" I stared at him intently. After a long time, speak with an extremely calm voice, saying, "Xiaoman, do you think I'm stupid?" His expression changed instantly, but soon they tried to act like they were innocent again. "What are you talking about? You've drunk too much, haven't you? I'll go get you a glass of water." "Stop pretending." I'll interrupt him now. Black luxury sedan. Southern City Japanese restaurant, 2,000 yuan. Room 520 of hotel. Do I need to bring out the invoice and the room key with me? With a snap, the cup in his hand fell to the ground. Water has spilled all over the floor. The living room was filled with a dead silence. It's been a long time since then.
He lowered his head and said 3 words, "I'm sorry."
On the path of infidelity, the terminal station is always these 3 words. No exceptions. He didn't explain who that man was. Didn't say why. They didn't ask for my forgiveness either. Just standing there, waiting for my decision. I looked at her, said coldly, "I don't want to get divorced. But from now on, there is no longer any relationship between us anymore. You are still my wife, in name only. Please pay the alimony on time. You still need to do the household chores as usual. As for who you want to meet privately, what do you want to do? I won't interfere with it. Don't bother me either." He opened his mouth. It seems like they want to say something. But in the end, not a single word was spoken at all. From that day on, we have officially embarked on this life of different dreams, sleeping in different beds. Everyone eats what's theirs. Everyone sleeps on their own. The division of tasks at home is even more clear than in a company. He cooks, I do the dishes. He does the laundry while I mop the floor. No arguments. There was no Cold War. Even more polite than many normal couples. But this kind of politeness is better than hysteria. Arguments between people can be 100 times more terrifying. Because it means that there is no longer any hatred between us. Only utter coldness remains. We are merely 2 people who are trying to survive and maintain our dignity. Strangers who share a household and rent together under the same roof. What I fear the most at night is the silence of the lying in the same bed. The temperature of her body, the sound of her breathing. It reminds me of everything at the same time. This is the wife I once loved most. But as long as I think about it a little bit, the image of the sedan man suddenly appears in my mind. The large bed in the hotel room. Then my heart becomes hard like a stone, instantly. Stuck in the chest. I can't go down and I can't vomit either. When I was woken up in the middle of the night, I like to go to the balcony alone and smoke cigarettes. Watching the city at 3 a.m., it was completely dark. Only a few buildings in the distance still have lights on. I was just thinking about that. In those windows with lights on, is there anyone else who feels the same as me? There's a home, but there's nowhere to run. Having a wife by his side, yet still living like a desperate single man. There's a saying online that says, "The collapse of a middle-aged man." It's about discovering that one's wife was having an affair with someone else. The option to choose not to divorce begins here. Previously, I thought this statement was too exaggerated. Now I fully understand it. This is not a sign of collapse at all. This is clearly a case of cruel execution. Slice by slice. Every night, cuts are made into your heart. He won't give you a quick and decisive blow. Instead, it scratches slowly over time. Let you live every day feeling disgusted and unwilling to touch it. In the agonizing state of not wanting to touch anything. I have no idea how long this situation will continue. Maybe when my son gets a little older. Maybe once I have completely paid off the mortgage. Maybe on the day when I become completely numb. But at least for now, I still have to return to that house every night. Lying on that bed. Lying next to this woman who betrayed me. Want to touch something disgusting. I'd rather not touch it. It's too annoying. This is a night spent by a 34-year-old middle-aged man. There are no winners, only those who endure. On our wedding night, my husband ripped apart my wedding dress with one hand. He pointed at the tattoo on my body and asked who I was. "You married me with this thing. Don't you find it disgusting?" I was pressed against the cold floor by him, watching his red-tinged eyes. Not a single word can explain it. He has no idea at all. This scar on my body. It's I who has spent my entire youth doing this. A tomb that I bought myself. My name is 𝓵𝓪𝓬𝓻. My senior year of college. I'm only 22 years old, and I haven't even stepped out of the ivory tower of university yet. That time me, sensitive and reclusive. I feel like no one in this world truly understands me at all. I became fascinated by a very niche social software platform. Those people above don't talk about trivial matters like food and daily necessities. We only talk about ideal lives and late nights. A loneliness with nowhere to go. One day I came across a piece of text. Everyone is like an isolated island in themselves. What we search for throughout our lives. It's just another island that can receive signals at the same frequency. The image shows a city at night with streets painted in black and white tones. I've left a comment below. I didn't expect it to take less than 5 minutes. He replied to me. I even sent him a private message directly. You are the first person who truly understood what that photo really means. A deadly and inevitable sense of destiny. And from that moment on, everything began to unfold quietly. His name is 𝓵𝓪𝓭. Those who claim to be in the field of cultural media industries, 5 years older than me. He really knows how to talk to girls. He can talk about the tragic fates in ancient Greek mythology. It's interesting to talk about those feelings of degradation and restraint that are often depicted in old film scenes. Even able to chat thoroughly right before the late-night barbecue stall. The disheveled state of each drunk middle-aged man. He's like a treasure that never seems to run out of. You never know what he will do in the next second. What kind of surprises will it bring? I'm a girl who has never seen the evils of society yet. Where have I seen such a grand display before? I thought I had met them again. The only soulmate in this lifetime. I thought this was a gift from heaven. All those attempts to compensate for loneliness in the past. 3 months after getting to know each other, he asked me to meet up with him. I agreed. He hardly touched any food during that meal. He just stared at me silently. His eyes revealed undisguised aggression and desire. After dinner, he naturally took me to the hotel. That was my first time doing something like that. Looking at that red mark on the bedspread, I thought this was a manifestation of the sublimation of our love. That's all I have given him, my true feelings. But when the clouds and rain pass away, he simply touched my head coldly, said that there was an emergency in the company. Then I left immediately. The empty room was now filled with only remnants of what was once there. The smell of disinfectant, and my heart which felt completely overwhelmed. From that day on, a gentle form of torture, carried out in the name of love. It has begun. He became extremely busy. Every time I call him with great anticipation in my heart. It's always the case that people are either just coming out of a meeting or in the middle of social activities. Baby, don't think about it too much. 9 out of 10 times my phone calls were intercepted. Then I received a cold message. It's not convenient at all. My best friend advised me to blame myself for being stupid. It seems like I've met a scammer. I don't believe he really meant to play around just for fun. I feel that my soul and his soul are connected. He just was too tired. The reality imposed him too much pressure. I should be the person who stands behind him. the most considerate and thoughtful woman among them. In order to grasp this elusive sense of fate, to prove that I'm different from those boring women, I did something stupid that has no way out at all. I went to a tattoo shop without telling anyone else. I engraved her name deeply in my heart. It's the most private part of my lower back. When the cold needles are inserted into the skin again and again, the intense pain made my whole body tremble. Tears fell onto the cold chair surface. But inside, my heart feels sweet. Every inch of intense pain caused by the needle's thrust. It seems like a vow that I have made to celebrate this love. When 𝓵 saw that tattoo, he was completely stunned. There were tears in his eyes, holding me tightly in her arms. Your voice is so hoarse. You're really stupid. You are the most brave person I have ever met. The girl who loves me the most. At that moment, I felt that all the pain was worth it. I thought this name would follow me throughout my life. It's just like our love, right? Lasting forever. To prove that I'm right, I started to be even more friendly towards him. It even reached a very humble level. He said that he doesn't like to use condoms. Let me take the contraceptive pills. I thought that it was a state of utmost intimacy, without any barriers at all. I endured the nausea and swallowed it again and again. He said that the company is facing difficulties in managing its finances. We need money to handle this emergency. I have activated all the loan limits that I can access through online lending platforms. They even got their first credit card and used it to withdraw cash. A few tens of thousands of yuan have been accumulated. The entire amount was transferred to him. I crushed myself into pieces, shape it into his favorite form. A perfect and sensible person, never caused trouble. She doesn't even need him to spend a single cent at all. But I don't understand it at all. There are some boundaries that must not be compromised at all times. What awaits you is not something that should be cherished. It cannot be restored after countless cycles of destruction have passed. Long-term use of emergency contraceptives. It quickly overwhelmed my body. During that time, I started to have continuous bleeding. There seems to be a lump in the lower abdomen. The knife was churning around inside the object. I lie in the bed of the rental house. It hurts so much that my whole body trembles with pain. Pale as a ghost, I called him, trembling with fear. I want a word of comfort. Even if it's just a hug. But it's coming from the phone. Only the cold, monotonous sound of system shutdown can be heard. My mom came to visit me at school. I realized that something wasn't right with me. They forced me to go to the hospital with them. The moment the checklist was generated, the doctor's expression was so serious that it was almost overwhelming. Rupture of an ectopic pregnancy and ovarian cyst. Severe internal bleeding. The surgery must be performed immediately. Outside the operating room, my dad has arrived. That person never made me feel proud in her lifetime. Men who treat their partners like precious gems. At this moment, my hands are trembling violently. The eyes were completely red. He stared at me intently. The voices were all trembling. Whose child is the child? I swallowed the bloody taste in my throat. She whispered the name of 𝓵. My father didn't say anything. I'm about to take out my phone and call the police. I was terrified. I can't even care about the intense pain in my body. Fell off the bed of illness, crying. I clung to his legs, screaming desperately. It was my own choice. It has nothing to do with him. Dad, please don't call the police. My dad stood there, looking down at me from above. His eyes were filled with despair and anger. He asked me word by word. He doesn't even show up during your surgery. You still need to protect him.
Tell me.
What on earth do you want from him? Yes, what on earth am I after him? The surgery is now complete. I lie on the hospital bed like a complete useless person. I sent him hundreds of messages. I made countless calls. Finally, at the dead of night on the third day, he sent me a message back. The voice sounded tired and resentful. He said that his partner tricked him into doing something bad, hiding to pay off debts in a different place. My phone was confiscated by the creditor. He said that his heart was broken. Let him come back after he's finished dealing with all this. They will definitely compensate me doublefold for this. Marry me and move in together. Ironically, I'm already at the brink of death, but I actually believed it again. My dad looked at this outfit of mine. A hopeless and delusional state of mind. He completely lost hope in me. He said just that sentence. I don't consider you to be my daughter. After saying that, he left without even looking back. I never set foot in the ward again. After being discharged from the hospital, I completely lost contact with my family. I have moved out of the dormitory. I rented a place in a remote area. Small and dilapidated house. I tried to go to work, despite the weakness in my body. The other side was like a madman, struggling desperately, waiting for my savior to come back. 2 months later, he finally returned. He knelt down in front of me with a thud. Hugging my legs and crying loudly, he said that he went bankrupt. I have nothing left now, with a heavy debt burden. Only I remain in the world anymore. Watching his haggard face, my heart is in agony beyond any description. I told him, "It's okay, I will accompany you throughout the process." Until that late night, he got completely drunk. I helped him lie down. As I helped him remove his coat, which was covered in alcohol stains, it fell out of his wallet. A neatly folded card. I thought that was his business card. I picked it up and wanted to put it back again. When my gaze swept over the words written there, I felt as though I had been struck by a lightning bolt in that instant. 𝓹𝓵𝓵𝓪𝓭 stood still in place. It's extremely cold throughout the body. That was a handwritten guarantee. I am very familiar with the handwriting on it. It's definitely his signature. The brush strokes are extremely powerful. It seems like it was carved into the surface somehow. My wife, I was wrong. I swear, this is the last time. I will never mess around with women from outside again. Please, just for the sake of my hopes and dreams. Please forgive me one last time. The signature reads his full name, and also the date. That moment, it seemed as though the air in the room was drawn out of it instantly. I looked at that guarantee document. Then he looked at the man lying in bed, snoring loudly. 𝓵𝓵𝓭 is the name of his daughter. It turns out that he has a wife, children, and a family. It turns out that's the soul companion I am so proud to have with me. I decided to sever ties with my family. The sense of destiny gained through cutting open the belly. It's nothing more than a repetition from start to finish. A married man becomes bored with marriage after some time has passed. A handful of bait that was casually scattered to me. I went all out to get him out of bed. Smashed that guarantee document right into his face. He was stunned for a second. When I finally saw the paper clearly, the look in her eyes instantly became extremely fierce.
He rushed over to it in one go.
Shouting at me, pointing at my nose. Why should I be punished for that? Do you understand the importance of respecting privacy? I saw his eyes red with anger. There is anger within that thing. It seems like I've been seeing through my tricks now. There are some threatening words and insults involved. Not even a trace of guilt or shame at all. At that moment, I suddenly stopped crying and making a fuss. I watched him. Extremely calm voice. I am pregnant. He was completely stunned. He was just a fierce and terrifying person earlier. Once again, there was a loud thud as he knelt down again. He was holding my legs in his arms. I'm crying. Please help me give birth to the child. Please. I will get divorced right away. This child is an opportunity that heaven has given us. I watched his face, covered in tears. A face with excellent acting skills. I just felt a sense of nausea, as if my stomach was in turmoil. I slowly pushed him away from me. Only one word was spoken. The next day, I went to the hospital by myself. Once again lying on the cold operating table. The harsh light from the incandescent lamp made my eyes hurt terribly. The entire process, I didn't shed a single tear at all. Because once the heart is completely destroyed, the pain in the body is nothing to worry about. After being discharged from the hospital, I blocked all information related to him. Cancelled the rental property. I returned to my parents' house looking disheveled and exhausted. The moment the door opened, my father stood at the door, watching me, who looks completely exhausted. He didn't ask anything at all. He simply took the luggage from my hands without saying a word. Sighed, let's wash our hands and eat something. At that moment, I didn't stop crying even though I was on the operating table. An instant breach. Later, I met my current husband, 𝓵𝓵𝓬𝓮𝓻𝓼. He is gentle and considerate. Down to earth. It gave me a sense of security that I've never experienced before. I thought I had finally gotten rid of those terrible nightmares from my past. We have stepped into the ordinary yet warm atmosphere of everyday life. But I underestimated that tattoo. The destruction caused to a man. Every instance of intimacy. When his warm hands touched those two words, it seems like the mind subconsciously paused for a moment. The originally hot air will become. Suddenly, I felt a subtle sense of suffocation. He has discussed this with me more than once. Can we just wash it away, okay? I don't want my wife to still be like this, keeping traces of other men behind me. It's not that I don't want to wash them. I really don't have the courage to do it. I have a severely severe type of hypertrophic scar constitution. The doctor warned me about this long ago. If it's a forced cleaning operation, the wound will undergo rapid proliferation. It turned into a huge, twisted mass. A fierce centipede-like tumor. That would be 100 times more terrifying than getting a tattoo itself. I thought that my honesty would lead to his understanding. But reality is much colder than I imagined. That tattoo looks like a needle stuck into the poisonous thorns within our marriage. Gradually, he stopped touching me anymore. He started working extra hours frequently. Returning home in a drowsy state, drunk at midnight. Lie on your back with your side facing away from me, leaving behind a cold, silent silence. Until that day, the anniversary of our wedding. He drank too much alcohol, watching me with bloodshot eyes and filled with pain. I've tried it. I really tried my best to do it. But just by closing my eyes, I can imagine you. I once became crazy for another man. I just need to touch your waist. I feel like you're mocking me. I can't take it anymore. Let's get divorced. At that moment, I didn't cry at all. There wasn't any commotion either. Because I know that he is not wrong at all. No man can act without any concerns at all, embracing a body that bears the name of another man. In the divorce agreement, I am leaving the company completely. Signed my name in there. The day I received the divorce certificate, it was raining heavily in the sky. He left, holding an umbrella in his hand, never looking back once. I walked in alone, into that once familiar place. It completely destroyed the tattoo shop that was part of my life. The tattoo artist looked at those two words on my lower back. He sighed and asked me, "Girl, what kind of pattern do you want to use to cover up those elements?" I looked at that face in the mirror. The exhausted and wounded self I am now. Shook his head. The pattern remains unchanged. I said calmly, "Use black ink to completely blacken those two words." It's painted as a pure black square. The cold needles pierced into my skin once more. Every time I drop a needle, the pain feels like 100 times that of that time back. The ink mixed with blood flowed down along the waistline. I gritted my teeth. Tears finally flowed freely down my face. Then it is no longer a vow of love. It's a piece of art created by my own hands. A black tombstone I have erected myself. It firmly sealed the name of that demon away. It also completely blocked me out completely. All of my fantasies about marriage in this life. Now I live alone. Sometimes, after taking a bath in the middle of the night, looking at the area around my lower back in the mirror, dark, ugly, and cold rectangular shapes, I can't help but smile bitterly. He completely stole away my youth through deception. Once again, I have ruined the only thing in my life that was once precious. The main culprit behind a failed marriage. It's still completely intact right now, enjoying the joy of family life together. And I will have to endure loneliness for the rest of my life. The shame is the price we have to pay for our ignorance in those days. Do you really think that this world is fair? Do all men excel at getting married to people they don't love? And then spend the rest of my life reminiscing about it. The person who truly loved someone, but ended up missing out on that love. It was supposed to be on September 9th. I will wear my wedding dress and marry the man I love. A man who has been with me for 3 years, 𝓵𝓪𝓻𝓻𝓼. The days were chosen by him. He said that the number 99 symbolizes our desire for eternal love and union. I have imagined that scene countless times. I held his arm in my hands, facing the blessings of everyone's gazes, thinking that I am the happiest woman in the world. But reality just slapped me hard in the face. My fiancé possesses all the tenderness and kindness that one could hope for. Their patience was treated as a program task handed over to me, but it also carried along his 15 years of youthful regrets and those memories buried deep within him. All the passion in my heart was dedicated to another woman. 𝓵𝓸𝓵𝓲𝓬 is also the name of my friend. It was 3 years ago that I got this name. I left Chengdu. I have arrived in this unfamiliar city. At a party, I got to know 𝓵𝓪𝓻. He is clean and steady. The appearance of wearing a white shirt. It has fulfilled all my fantasies about a partner. I am an introverted person. Get used to staying in the corners instead. But that day, he walked up to me through the noisy crowd. With a look that seemed to pierce through me, he asked softly, "Are you also alone?" I thought that was my luck. I only found out later. It's just him, seeing things through my eyes. I see the shadow of another person. 3 years of romance. He is quite thoughtful, almost perfect in his actions. He ran throughout the city in search of authentic Sichuan cuisine. I remember every movie I casually mentioned during those conversations. They even often stared at me in a dazed manner, saying softly, "The way you calm down there really looks like her." At that time, I was completely immersed in sweetness. Just consider it as a kind of stylish compliment. Until he showed me his best friend, 𝓵𝓻𝓫. Zhao and I look somewhat similar to each other. His personality is truly bright and cheerful. It was the first time that 3 people walked together. I noticed something was different. 𝓵𝓪𝓻's gaze was always fixed on 𝓵𝓻𝓫. Ew. 𝓵𝓻 frowns involuntarily. It can make him tense up in an instant. 𝓵𝓻 tells a cold joke. He was the first person to make a sound, and I sat down next to them. "Please bring water and tissues." Feeling awkward like an outsider in this inappropriate situation. Later, I found it in his old photo album. I flipped through the photos of his ex-girlfriend. His appearance is quite similar to 𝓵𝓻's. The song that he plays over and over again is one of the tracks from the 𝓵𝓻 album. The milk tea he loves drinking is the favorite tea shop that 𝓵𝓻 often visits. That woman named 𝓵𝓻 looked like an invisible thin needle. They seamlessly integrated into my life. Can't be pulled out. It really hurts me everywhere. The signs of a breakup were already present last year, after that big party we had together. 𝓵𝓪𝓻 was completely drunk, lost the game, to reveal one's secrets. His gaze was distracted as he walked past everyone, staring intently at 𝓵𝓻. There's always a girl in my heart. And we were born on the same day in the same month of the same year. The entire audience erupted in applause and noise. The little snowflake had no expression on its face at all, but I clearly saw that she was hiding under the table. The hem of the skirt was twisted into a complicated knot. That night, it was the first time I got angry with her. She hugged me, burying her head in my neck, shaking with fear, apologizing. But the aura emanating from him, that overwhelming sense of sadness and despair. It's not because of any sense of guilt that makes me do this. It's because of the love for that woman that I can't have her. April this year. He proposed to me. Kneel on one knee. The ring feels cold to the touch. Amidst the screams of those around us, I saw the light shining in his eyes, trying to convince myself otherwise. The small snowfall is now in the past. The person standing next to him is me. I have accepted the ring. I also signed a policy that will cover my entire life. Until the day when the two families meet each other's relatives. That delusive dream of mutual deception was shattered completely. I spent some time getting dressed up specifically for this occasion. Pushing open the door to the private room, carrying heavy gifts along. What comes into view is a light snowfall. I am sitting next to my mother-in-law right now. The skilled person is pouring tea for everyone. Aze's relatives took little Snow's hand in their arms. You can talk about anything with me. But the way he looked at me was different. A kind of polite behavior, but also a sense of alienation towards strangers. All the dishes on that table are prepared in the local style. There is no single Sichuan dish that doesn't exist. It seems that in the subconscious mind of their entire family, it's only when it starts to snow lightly that it can be considered a true daughter-in-law. And I'm just a secondary alternative, a compromise at best. Aze's sister came closer and whispered in my ear, "Sister Xiaozhu, my brother has been in love with Sister Xiaozhu for 15 years. My parents really always wanted them to be together." At that moment, the sound of people exchanging drinks in the private room disappeared completely. The world is in a state of complete silence. I only heard the sound of my dignity breaking into pieces. That day I went home. I didn't cry or make a fuss at all. Just calmly asked him, "Why bring her along?" Aze closed her eyes, exhausted. "I'm sorry. My parents like her. I don't want to disappoint them. And I don't want to make Xiaozhu feel embarrassed. You don't want to put him in an awkward situation." I laughed and tears flowed down without any warning. "What about me then? Am I really supposed to accompany you in performing this emotional drama?" He admitted everything that night. Fantasizing about this person for 15 years. Misunderstanding as being in a one-sided relationship. No one dared to break the window paper. He said he tried to fall in love with me. He gets along well with me. He becomes more awake around me, searching for any signs of Xiaozhu on the body. Listening to his confessions, I feel extremely disgusted. What they call regretful missed opportunities. It's actually a sign of weakness. They hide their cowardice behind deep emotions. But it still forces me, an innocent outsider, to take on this responsibility. Use a lifetime of happiness to make up for their regrets. I canceled the wedding, reached a decision to break up with each other. The day of the move, I accidentally opened it in the study. A locked old wooden box. It contains the postcards from their middle school days. Yellowed concert ticket margins, and one of his photos of me. A note written 1 week before marriage. She said she has a boyfriend now. Wish me happiness. I looked at the huge wedding photo on the wall. In the photo, I smile in such a sweet way, like a complete joke. It turns out that he didn't propose to me because he really loved me. It's because that woman was completely desperate. He simply found a place that resembled his own haven and settled down there. I no longer tried to confront him. I took off my engagement ring, put it together with that note. It was gently locked inside that wooden box, placed in the most prominent spot in the living room. Pick up the suitcase. The moment I closed the door behind me, I finally felt relieved. The hearts of some people have already been filled with the memories of the dead. No matter how warm the later one is, it's simply a ridiculous decoration. I don't want to be just any ordinary person. This time, I'm giving back my life to myself.